Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond, broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Have you ever wondered about what happens in a martial arts studio? Well, you start right away by setting goals, building determination, gaining focus, building skills, all while becoming more fit, gaining confidence, and learning self-defense. Buitrón Academy is a school where attitude meets aptitude. So give us a call at 956-401-4868. Back at you in Gloves Off. I'm Paul Buitrón. I'm here with Mr. Rangel. We're touching base on music schools, and his music schools, especially here in Laredo, and the benefits of music to all, and what it has accomplished. Because I know it's not only do you have music in your heart, but it's very hard to play music. You know, a lot of us sing in the shower, but how many of us actually perform in front of people? It's a lot different, and you have to go to school for that. So, good to have you.
Thank you, Paul. First of all, I want to thank you for the invite. This is the first time I do something like this, and I'm very excited about where this is going to go. Jam Music School.
It's a new school, Jam Music School.
Jam Music School. It's on the foundation of playing together, playing music instruments together, playing the instruments, singing, having a good time. That's what the foundation of Jam Music School. Other schools, they're doing a good job. I have no, I don't want to say anything bad about any school, whatever. Some of them are my colleagues, some of them I work with, some of them work for me before, and they're doing a good job. But I've always had a foundation of, I'm gonna play with you. Let's talk about us, right? We're here. Mm-hmm. So we have a student. I'll play the guitar. We'll play a few chords, learn a couple of songs, and then I'm gonna put you in front of 10 people, 10, 20 people to do a mini recital, right?
Sure.
My experience in recitals when I was 10 years old, I hated it.
Sure, absolutely.
I hated it because I was shaking. I was nervous. It was too much. It was too much for a 10-year-old. Yes, I knew my music. I had a Mrs. Reese. She was my first piano teacher. She was very strict, hard on me, and good. I'm glad she was. But it made me not like music for those reasons. So I'm very careful with my students not to have a negative experience with their guitar, with their piano, with singing in front of people, because they'll associate that with music, and that's not what's happening. That's your own character. That's something that they didn't teach you right away. So I'm here doing a recital. As soon as it was over, I said, Dad, let's go home. I want to leave. I want to get out of here. And my dad took us to Dairy Queen.
Sure.
And he said, what's wrong with you? And I said, I hated it. There was only 10 people there, my dad said, and 6 of us was your family. So what's wrong? The other 4 people were parents of students that were going to do recitals with me. But it just affected me so much because I guess I'm reserved, I'm too shy, whatever reason. I said, Dad, I hated it. And he said, well, anyway, so I'm going back now. I have you as my student, and you come. I say, we're going to do this song, whatever it is, and we'll do it. I do it with you. I sit there in front of you. It's okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. What we practiced, all the song we did 1,000,000 times already. You know it. Don't worry about the people. Look at me. We'll sit like this, and people will be over there, and we just jam. We just have a good time. And when we leave there, you're fine. And if you make a mistake, we'll stop. I don't care. We'll stop. Let's start again, and we'll start again.
That's everybody gets those butterflies. It's what you do with the butterflies that are inside.
Exactly.
And I remember one time fighting, and I was I was fighting I've been in karate tournaments, I've been in kung fu tournaments, I've been in tournaments. But the first time I stepped into the ring in boxing, my stomach was upside down, you know? And I remember my coach back then, and it was under Curtis Cokes, and he says, turn those butterflies into hornets. Go up there and let's do your job. You know, and I did. And you see that with students, they get nervous. They're here fine, they're doing fine, they're very introverted, and they come inside, and once you put them in front of other people, why? You know, you have to. You're going to end up being there. And sometimes it's used for the better, and sometimes it's used in fear you quit. You can't quit. You have to move forward. You have to push forward. And you need those mentors, and I'm glad that you're doing that, to keep these kids pushing forward, you know? Because how many of us have said, I'm going to pick up a guitar, I'm going to play it.
I always wanted to play.
I always wanted to play guitar. I always wanted to do this, wanted to sing. You sing a song in the car, going on the vocals or whatnot, and that's what music's all about. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, I mean, if you give me a guitar, I play it. I don't know what's going to come out of it, but I'm going to play it. You know what I'm saying? I've taken lessons, and I've never been able to go forward. I wasn't that musically inclined, you would put it that way. But other types of rhythms I could pick up. So I'm very glad, especially when I see somebody that has a passion and is trying to help others achieve their passion. And that gives me, you know, there's hope here still left in the world. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm old school. My dad was a Navy man. He was hard on us. He said, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on time, you're late. So for me, another thing that I really believe in, I've seen a lot of articles on how to teach music and how they, you know, develops their brain. So I'm also certified in kinder music.
Sure.
So anybody under 5, any kids under 5, it's a good development. They start with percussion instruments, you know, tambourines, bongos, whatever. But even the triangle, the xylophone, anything that they hit, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be in tune.
Right.
So what happens is, as their brain's developing, as we're going to school, we only use our right hand, our right hand,
Sure.
our right hand. Even in sports, we're right-handed. We're doing this and that. They don't teach us how to use the other side of our brain, unless you get into the arts, in music, in band, and anything in the arts. But music, learning I'll use piano, even guitar, but piano is more visual. You use both hands at the same time doing different things. So it's kind of crazy at first, you know, when they start doing it. Their brain starts fusing together. The way it works is your left side of your brain tells your right hand what to do. And your right side of your brain is telling your left hand what to do. So you're crisscrossed this way. And that's the way God made us. I mean, I don't know. So very simple. They're doing their C major scale it's very easy for me if I've been doing it for 60 years. I'm 60 years old. Not 60 years. I started when I was 8 or 9. So it's just very simple for me because it's like breathing. I don't think about breathing or speaking Spanish. You know, como estás, you know, maybe for you it's even more languages that you can be. You know, sometimes you don't think about it, you just speak it. Like it just comes out. Sure. Same thing with music. It's a different language that you're learning how to do and learning how to play, speak, read. But as you develop, all of my students, without exception, excel very well in their academics. Very well.
Absolutely.
They turn it around, and they're the first ones to finish their classes. They're the first ones to finish their tests. They're the first ones to, you know,
and that, excuse me for interrupting, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, exactly.
And, you know, that's what it's all about. We've done it here, and I'm very proud. You know, my wife teaches kids as well. She teaches a capoeira more so, and she's a little bit about her. She's one of the highest ranked women professoras in Brazil, and she has a tremendous following in her hometown in Goiânia. But here, she comes here and it's kind of like, hey,
It's a different culture.
It's everybody, you know what's going on. So I said, listen, here we have to change it in a different format because over there people already know. Here, and the kids that have come out here, the vast majority, like right now we have, I would say 90% of the kids here are honor roll students, or honor roll recipients. But then you have a couple of those kids that went were C's and D's, and now they're B's. They've done a tremendous job. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah, they're, people might not but they've done a tremendous job. And if they continue with that, maybe in junior high school, they're going to become A students. You know what I'm saying? So that's a push already in the right direction. And any, I wouldn't say, because a lot of people look at music, oh, it's a hobby. Martial arts is a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
It's a life, yes.
It's part of you that you're going to take with you in your life as you go. And it's something that is part of you, like riding a bike, like learning how to cut grass, like learning absolutely. And what more so in both arts, both in music and in the fighting sciences, that you're going to learn how to breathe. Exactly. How to calm yourself. Exactly. The benefits of this, how to be calm in front of people. If you go to recital, eventually the more that you go, the calmer you're going to be, and to the point is that who cares, And it's no different in playing Carnegie Hall or playing in the church. Right. You're going to be in front of people. You're going to end up eventually going. That's what you want to attain if you're a musician, correct?
Well, the way I explain it to the kids, you can be with me for 3-4 years and never play in front of people. You really never become a musician.
Absolutely.
It's like a bomb. I saw it in a movie. It's like a bomb that just a bunch of wires and C4, whatever it is, that never explodes. It's not a bomb. It's just a bunch of different wires and electronics that never became. So same thing with a musician. When you're in front of people and then you get that changes everything. And then the student starts practicing. Before it was 5 minutes a day or whatever, it becomes, half an hour a day. Parents call me, what did you give them? What did you do? All they needed was the chance to be appreciated.
That confidence building,
exactly.
That self-esteem that you build inside, that sense of I've accomplished something, all that takes time.
So important.
Do you find that in baseball and football? Yes, you do, but you find it in a different nature. Especially when you do it by yourself. Because when you're by yourself playing, it's you. It's not 15 other people playing for you. You know what I'm saying?
And I do it every day. Sometimes I do it for the students because I do have some advanced students that it's hard to keep up with. Not hard to keep up with them, but I do have to research and be ahead of them. But even just for my own sanity, I just go and relax and take my coffee there and just warm up my vocals. Sometimes it's just a do, re, mi, fa, sol, but other times it's singing a song, it just brings peace to the soul. I like it. I don't know how to, there's a lot of benefits in the child learning to play an instrument. This is another thing. Here's a guy that's in football. He was my supervisor at one of my jobs. He was smaller than me. He loved football in high school. Why didn't you do something else? I said, you were never going to do, not even college ball. I mean, with your weight and your height, you're not going to, I can do pretty good. I was pretty good at football in junior high. That was it. Even in high school, when I got to high school, I tried it, but they would run all over me. I was too small.
Listen, I say that. The percentage is very small. Mm-hmm. It's like 0.004% of those that go into football,
basketball, even,
and what you call it in elementary school to become professional. Like 0.004,
Yeah.
But yet all the parents push her for that, and then all of a sudden you have a kid that's by the time they're 26, they already have broken knees, they already have a broken back, and you're like, hey, what happened? I saw a friend of mine went to school. I'm 54, and I saw him and he goes, "Hey, Paul," but I couldn't recognize him. I thought he was in the 70s. Until he told me who he was, then I recognized who he was. Oh, mira como quedé yo de football. I mean, on a walker. I mean, you're like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. You know, and I sat down and we had coffee together, and joked around in the past, and you're like, you know, I'm nothing against football, nothing against basketball,
I love
nothing against the sports.
Like, who are you going for? Eagles?
Right now,
Chiefs? Nobody.
you know, I have not. I lived in Dallas. I had the school in Dallas and had restaurants and stuff, and I lived in Las Colinas, down the street from the stadium.
Okay.
Never once did I go see a Cowboy game.
Okay.
So to me, when they say, "Do you like football?" Yeah, every so often I'll see a Super Bowl. But apart from me to be there watching high school, college, and no, I'm not. I mean,
same here. Maybe because I'm a musician. I don't know. But the Super Bowl I do keep up with, and the only reason I keep up with Super Bowl is that's the day I celebrate my birthday.
you know, baseball worse. You know, I mean, they kicked me off the team. I remember in junior high, go to tryouts. I let go of the bat, hit the coach across the knees and across the shins. Actually, I threw it. Boom! You're out of here, you know. And then I see him later on. And, okay, because well, that's just the way people are built for something else. And, there's more professional boxers.
Okay. Yes.
There's more professional boxers. And there's more world champions in Laredo than there were professional football players in Laredo or baseball or basketball players. But then everybody goes to basketball and everything else. But more professional boxers and more world champions in Laredo that have come out in boxing than the professional baseball players or the other ones. Golfing, you get a couple of pro golfers, okay? But when you look at it, you're like...
And I just want to mention one from Martin High School. Not one guy, one team. But even them, they were basketball. They went to state championship. They were called the Mosquitoes. Because they were also small.
Yeah.
But they won. I mean,
I'm not saying, el tamaño de los documentos, but what I'm saying is that you're competing with a different arena. You're competing with a different type of
professionalism.
No, I wouldn't say that. I just think culture.
Right.
Okay. You go to inner city Dallas or inner city Houston or inner city Chicago or New York. Where do you see basketball?
All the time.
All the time. And you see it almost in every 2 blocks is a basketball court. Here,
it's not that big. I mean,
it's not big of a deal.
You go by and they're there by themselves.
They're not
Nobody's playing.
You know, over there you go by and there's
24/7 somebody there,
and all ages, and you're learning from guys that could have been in the Globetrotters. You know what I'm saying? Right. And they just didn't go for whatever reason. Right. So the amount of people that are participating in those sports is a lot different than what we have here. Nothing wrong with the athletes that we have here. Right, they're tremendous. Right. Believe me, once you go into sports, you're tremendous. If you go into band, all that gives you dedication. All that gives you a discipline. That gives you a goal setting. But continue with it. You know, you get out of high school.
That's what I did.
Continue with it. Don't just abruptly stop. And that's what happens here. A lot of the guys go in high school. They don't make the college teams. So what am I going to do? And so, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit different. You got some boxers there that all of a sudden now.
There's something, Paul, that I want to mention about my classes and what I really believe in, really believe in. And I'm sure you'll attest to this. There's a lot of kids, and my wife's an educator, so she sees this all the time. Kids that were real well behaved in 6th grade, 7th grade. She's a middle school. So by the time they're in 8th grade, like se echan a perder. Like it's a different, like they have no more respect, no more. They talk back a lot. They even use big words, you know, that they shouldn't. You know, it just makes them weak for that. Anyway, so I'm a big believer in this. I'm gonna I don't know how to say it, how to articulate it, but check this out. I believe a musician is somebody that's extreme, passionate, and really, sometimes even out of control. Sometimes there's emotions and there's something that has to be expressed that doesn't get expressed because you don't know how, and they stay roaming the streets, doing maldades, or I don't know how to say it. Can I say it? Madres?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just and then parents can't control them. Sometimes they take them to juvenile. Sometimes the judge wants to see the parents. What's up? What the hell going on? And I just believe that. Give me a chance with them. There is no set. Yeah, sí se echan a perder, right? But there is no. I work for the Department of Labor. I want to say. I'm not going to say where, but they taught us there is no such thing as a bad kid. We need to influence as much as we can of our hearts, of our passion, of ourselves, and love them and try to bring them into the better part, So I believe God has given you an injection. If you could imagine an injection of all that's in you. Of course, all that is what's going to cause you, if you can't express, is going to cause you to be a bad kid, a bad person. So if you can give me a chance with those kids que son bien desmadrosos, really bad behavior, let me teach them some heavy rock and roll. Let them get it out. With a bass guitar, with a guitar, a lot of distortion, drums even, singing. Maybe they're a good singer. I don't know. Let me try them out. Let me teach them something that can give them I can guarantee you that kid is going to become a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, something else that he wasn't destined to become.
I'm gonna. There's a couple of things that you pointed out in there, and I'll bring it back to this. Mm-hmm. To be the best, if you want to be the best of something, you don't just have it in your heart. You have to be obsessed about it.
Right.
If you want to be a world champion, at one time I was third in the world. I didn't fight for a world title because what? I blew my hand. I had 11 reconstructive surgeries.
Wow.
Okay? So all my 90s, I went through surgeries after surgeries, transplants, so on and so forth. Things that people say, what did you do? What did you accomplish? Oh, well, Paul just does kickboxing. Okay, yeah, but then within Salat, became the first American to ever achieve the silver glove in France.
Wow.
First non-French to have a club of savate for 3 years in France. To the day, I'm still the first non-French to ever teach savate in France. So you were tested every day. You're not there because you're pretty. Mm-hmm. And became the first non-French professor of all the disciplines. To the day, there's no others. So people say, oh, what made him go to the Antarctic? He's crazy, until one guy that's crazy enough to say, I'm going to go do it. Mm-hmm. I didn't do that to become the first. I just did it because I was obsessed about the art. Okay? That's awesome. Then later on, I find out everything that we're doing it. Not here to pat my back because there's so many other people that have done not better things. But what I'm trying to say is you have to be obsessed whether you're a football player. Do 100% football player. As a parent, what's our obsession? What's our love? Our kids, we have to be obsessed with them. So we have to understand that we have to be disciplined them. We have to be parents. We're not their friends. Exactly. A 5-year-old should not have a cell phone, and an 8-year-old should not have a Facebook page, and a teen-year-old should not have Instagram. Right. When you go into those applications, what do they say? Adult entertainment. Right. Put some brains behind it. The streets are bad, and the streets are they're gonna pat you in the back that you're doing good while you're doing bad things, and guess what? They're gonna lead you astray.
You're gonna learn something, but it's not gonna be the right thing.
And it might teach you not to do those things, but the streets are not gonna love you back. Okay, and we've had a lot of great people that grew up in the streets that have become very, very good because they probably had a parent that was obsessed enough to get them and steer them in the right direction, or somebody else saw something in them and pushed them somewhere else. And that's what I say. That's what I say. And like you, I'm not a social worker. A long time ago, I put my foot down and I said no drugs at the school. I've seen what it's done. Let me tell you an incident. I was teaching in Dallas. We had teens, por ahí por abajo. and they had, must have been 94. Okay. We were building teams for the Golden Gloves. We were building fighting teams. We had guys training all the time. They had just given me tickets they had just opened up a Movies 24 on Northwest Highway. And they gave me a bunch of tickets, I knew the guy. Give it to your guy. So I give it to the guy. I said, hey, guy, go. The grand weekend opening went over there. Well, these kids went over there. And, I was working at the restaurant on Saturdays. And Sunday morning, nobody had cell phones. Cell phones went around. So I checked the message in the morning, and it was my house. Very few people had numbers in my house. And I checked the recording, and it was a father of a kid. His last name was Martinez. He goes, sir, I just wanted to thank you for killing my child. And I go, what the hell? And I started listening. He goes, the tickets you gave them, they all went to the movies, and there was a shooting, and they killed him in the night. And I just sat down there, and I kept on hearing it. And I called the kid's buddy, and I called the father, and I go, what the hell's going on? No, pues estos huequitos estaban con los primos that were part of the Latin Kings gangs. Otros, and they shot and they killed him. And I was like,
innocent bystander.
Well, maybe not. One doesn't know, right? One doesn't know who you hang around with in school. I never, they said that they were part of it. They said they didn't want part of it. So I had that there. For a long time, I stopped teaching kids. So I think for like two years, I said, just adults. I don't want to deal with this BS.
Not only that, it's very emotional.
What I'm saying?
That's very hard.
And then they say, and they tell you it's your fault.
Yeah.
Fault for what? Because I gave a ticket to it. You know what I'm saying?
They're trying to do something
good.
Yeah.
And then you come up and and then for a while I didn't teach kids until later on some kids came in, and then we won some Golden Gloves, and then we took off again. But what I'm trying, and so I told myself, no drugs. The first person that comes in here smelling like pot, out the door you go. So when I came back in 2000, it was very hard to do. It took me about 2 years to clean the school. So you got guys that I told them, don't go here, go somewhere else. As long as you're going to be there. And to the day.
To the very good.
To the very day, so it's a drug-free environment. And we're going to do so. Because you find out right away, if you are not, we grew up here in Laredo, we know exactly.
Con puro respeto,
you know where it's up, who's where. And, we had one guy talking bad about, the prophet does this, the prophet does that. And I go, well, did you tell him why? Yeah, I told the friend, I said, saying all this stuff. I go, ask him why he doesn't come here.
Exactly.
Why. So you have to have that discipline in yourself, like I know you have, and others that are out there that are teaching the kids and say, no is no, and no is no, and let's get this going. And I bet you that if they love to do it, they're going to go there to do it, and they're going to stop the other nonsense.
It's really weird, but I get kids in front of me, and if anybody ever sees this, they'll know what I told them. I tell them what I've been through my whole life. I'm dyslexic. They taught me how to, therapy, how to remedy that. So I hated to read when I was young. I think I got all the way through high school without reading a whole book. But then I married an English major. She teaches reading, like, whoa. I have nothing but books in the house. So I started reading things that interested me, and now I've read a lot more books than she has. And, I just love reading. So I'm able to influence not only in what I'm teaching. Yeah, they respect that I can do this, I can do that. I teach them some things on the piano. They love it. They want to play. They want to play the music. But I have an opportunity to make somebody's life better.
Absolutely.
I have one little boy that he lost his mom. She's passed away or whatever. So I don't talk about that, but I try to influence him in any positive way I can, and it's been a blessing to be able to do that.
Listen, sometimes, and I tell people within the schools, you're going to see others, and they're going to become your mentors. And sometimes, and I tell folks out there that are going through this, whether it's music somewhere else, Sometimes you're going to end up with a mentor. That mentor is going to push you because he sees something in you. And you guys can't, a lot of guys say, or a lot of students say, oh man, he's nagging at me, he's pushing me this, I'm not going to go. He's pushing you for a reason because he knows that you can be a lot better and you can be, not your potential can, and he's going to push you to that potential. And sometimes you say, oh, he calls again, I have to go to practice or be on time or practice this. I'm wasting my time, I don't want to go there anymore. And then all of a sudden one day, the call stopped calling. When you lose a mentor and he stops calling you and you call him back and doesn't return calls or what have you, it's because he found somebody else. When you find a mentor, cherish that person and learn from them and appreciate what they're passing on to you, because not only are they passing on to you a skill, they're passing on to you
themselves,
the skills that have come before that person that comes in. And his teachers, and so on and so forth. It's a long line of teachers that come with that.
Well, check this out. I read this in the Bible of all places. I mean, I'm a reader of the Bible, and you know, I'm not trying to put religion in this or whatever, but I'm just saying this is where I get the foundation of where go. God said in the Bible, in Genesis, the first part. Says, go, he told Adam and Eve. Probably talking about something else, but still he said, go and produce yourself, reproduce yourself in other people, right? So that's what I do. I tell all my students, you're going to learn everything that I know. If you're here long enough and you want to do it, you're going to play everything that I play. Every song, every note, everything that I've learned, you're going to know. You know, I'm going to reproduce myself, it's going to be in you. So next time I sing and you're playing the piano for me, it's going to be like me playing the piano, you know, and not just you. So that's what I'm trying to do, is reproduce myself. Everything, like you said, you're standing on the shoulders of everybody that came before you. Absolutely. My dad was an excellent guitar player, singer. He did different kind of music. He played trio music, and he was real good, requinto with the trios. He was very active in church. I get my spiritual, things from him and my mom. And so, all of that. Now, my father started teaching me guitar when I was 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, I was just wanted to be like my dad, of course, every little boy, right? So he said, here, he put it in my hand. He said, put this finger here, this finger there, this finger there. And I strummed the guitar, and it sounded just like he was playing. He said, whoa, at 8 years old? So he's, okay, now let's learn another one. Let's learn another chord. And then we go to parties. He died in 1989, but my dad's name was Poncho. Luis Alfonso, everybody called him Poncho. So they called me Ponchito, because I was his junior. So he would give me the guitar and he would sing whatever song we were doing, some funny song, whatever. But it was in Spanish, and I learned those things. So that's where I got my beginnings. And the school is in honor of my father. I honor my father in teaching me the few chords that I know, that I did know then, and I keep trying to push that. And I tell everybody, this is an honor. This whole school is in honor of my father.
Funny you say that, because you people were here, and this school, being the first of its kind here in the U.S., is the first school of Savannah in the United States. You can see it with the patina, and not only that,
that's awesome.
It's an honor to those that come behind us, and those that have made a name, and where they can be preserved, for people to say, oh, you know what, I trained with that person. You know what, I knew that person. You know what, I want to be like that person. And that's what it has come after a while. And people might not see the whole thing, but I invite everybody to come in any time and just talk. And what I'm saying is that's the only reason this is here, is the preservation of the history and those that came before us. Because teaching somebody, you can teach them in your backyard, right? But
this is awesome. This is an awesome.
Thank you. And that's when you said that. It hit home, because it's the truth, And folks, I tell you this: you guys want to learn music, want to learn basketball, want to learn savate, tempo, whatever you want to learn. Pick a person that has the experience and has
The passion.
not the passion, but the will to teach you. Remember that.
It's
will.
a different thing.
A lot of people have schools and stuff like that, and okay, do this. Okay, bueno, chivo,
Right.
but you know what I'm saying? Did you really go in there? So when I see somebody that says, I'm having recitals, I'm having presentations, I'm taking them to go play here, that means that the person is trying to finish off a musician, making a musician. That doesn't tell me a person that's telling me to play with a guitar. Like I said, I can pick up the guitar and play with it all day long. What's going to come out of it? I don't know what's going to come out of it, but I can play with a guitar. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And playing with it and making music with it are totally two different things. So and when you want to do that and produce, it's like a boxing. You know, how many fights have we had? None. But you're in the gym every day, and you want to go where?
You want to be a champ?
You want to be what? Okay. Learn your place. If you want to be good, you have to be in it, doing it. If you want to be a world champion in boxing, whatever, you better be fighting in it continuously and learning from it.
Obsessed.
You have to be obsessed.
Focus.
You have to be obsessed. You want to be the number one in the world? You have to be obsessed. You want to train people? Be obsessed. You want to be with people that are going forward? Be around people like-minded than you moving forward. That's the only thing I can say. You know, there's a lot of things happen. Sometimes we don't have the money. Sometimes we're doing a side gig. Sometimes we're doing something else. You know what? There's a lot of guys out there that are driving around Uber Eats and Uber this and trying to get and make extra money out there. And they keep saying to themselves, "Well, I can't fix it." Start listening to people that have made it. Click on YouTube. Get on something that's teaching you how to do something in business, something you don't know how to do taxes. You can learn so much. I'm not telling you can learn music. You can also, but what I'm saying is that it's all there in front of you. In today's technology, everything's there. Don't waste it, because time is something that we can't do that anymore. We can't go back and say, "Oh, I wish I could have done this," because it's already lost. And one thing that music teaches you is timing, and one thing that the martial arts teach you is timing. So understand that about time. And that's the biggest thing that you can teach somebody is the timing of the music, the timing of the rhythm. I could just imagine how hard it is to get somebody to be in tune in time.
It's amazing. It's fun. And then I have new students that want to do George Strait. You just said. And they learn the guitar. That's fine. They learn it. Now sing it. Then they start getting lost, because it's a different thing to be able to play and sing at the same time. So they're learning both things with me. So it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. I have a lot of fun.
Now tell me, where's your school located?
I'm teaching out of my house.
Okay.
So I live in Plantation. It's hard for some students that come from the south, but they as long as they can call me, my phone number's all over the Facebook. You've seen it. If we need to put it on the thing, it's 956-949-9715. 949-9715.
And what I'll do is I'll put it on the descriptions underneath for you to get a hold of Mr. Rangel.
Yes.
And for you guys to move on forward. And if you guys like this, share it, because there might be somebody else out there that's interested in learning that's out there. And this is something from Laredo to Laredoans that it's here. And also for all those small businesses out there, come out here and tell your story. You know, Gloves Off is that's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the community.
It's awesome.
And,
this is awesome.
And we have to do that to help others, you know. And the biggest help is, is when you actually help somebody up with their hand, and that to me is the biggest help.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Okay.
It's awesome. Amazing. Thank you very much.
We'll continue, folks. But how do we leave you? You all be safe, stay safe, and God bless you.
Stay positive.